we're looking at these celebrity designers, right? Like the Does and the Draplins and the Jandas of the world.
Yeah.
We're seeing them, but it's not like they just popped up and there they were.
Yes.
It's years and years of them selling their messages, putting it in our heads, putting themselves out there at this level, at this status and this and that, right?
Yes.
So again, wrong emphasis. The emphasis is on the wrong syllable.
You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive.
So I'm very excited. Excited.
Yes.
Because next week we are going to be launching a new episode with a surprise guest.
Yes.
Our very first guest. So I'm not going to tell you who it is. You're going to have to wait till the end of this episode. However, pretty exciting. That's our first one, and we're going to be doing that after the Labor Day long weekend.
Yes.
So that's cool.
That's right.
So that's excitement number 2.
Everybody's back to school.
Everybody's back to school.
No excuse for you not to miss this one because it's gold.
I say just take the day off.
Yeah.
Just sit at home, get a bourbon. It's going to take a lot of work to get, for those of you who have kids, to get those kids to school. So you deserve it.
Exactly. Yes.
And you know why else I'm excited?
What's that?
Tomorrow we're going to Fan Fucking Expo. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. That is like that one time of year. I kind of feel I need it.
This is your Christmas, isn't it?
It is. It's my Christmas. I'm like a kid. I don't know what it is. If it's just the energy of that place or all the, the really hot cosplay people that walk around,
Yes.
Or if it's just, the artist alley, something about that place it just gives me so much creative energy.
Yes.
It's like it's my recharge day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
I could
awesome.
literally spend the whole 4 days there
Just
and
doing
do all this and
Yes.
watch all the comic, sketch duos, but it's just so cool.
It's really good. Oh, you get all kinds of people at this thing, don't you?
Like everything. It's like Halloween on steroids. You took Halloween and anime and every adult cartoon and then you mix it all up with everything that's like naughty and sexy and throw it all in one place.
Yeah.
Well, then you got Fan Expo.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I am so excited.
And there's not a shitty costume in there.
There really isn't.
They're almost as close to perfection as you can get, right?
We're going as the Angry Designers.
We're
aren't
going
we?
to see Angry Designers. That's right.
We even have some T-shirts made up just for this. It's not official swag yet, guys, but it's like
it's coming.
We can't just show up and not wear, right?
Yes.
Jeez, like we're going to be on stage and everything, Sean. I forgot to tell you that, buddy.
Oh God.
But we got to represent. It's got to look good.
Totally.
So yeah. So just mock shirts. Don't worry, guys. Swag's coming. Swag's coming.
No, we'll get there.
But
they look really cool. I think.
Yeah. I'm fucking excited.
Yeah.
I am.
Have you got them already?
Have I got? Yeah. No, they're waiting for me at the house.
Nice.
Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
it's all good, dude. It's exciting.
I can't wait to see them.
The cool thing about that. Okay, so that place got a lot of celebrities, and that's what I like, right? Like it's got celebrity comic book artists.
Yes.
And they're fucking awesome.
They're amazing.
But what's cool is even up Artists Alley, there are, so you obviously the whole one wall is just all like the celebrity comic book artists, which are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. But then even spattered throughout the Artist Alley are all these other equally amazing artists that they're not celebrity artists.
Yes.
But they're fucking amazing.
They're so good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like people often tend to romanticize and idolize these like the celebrity ones.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But it's like these other ones are really fucking cool too.
This is exactly it.
and I mean they're getting the credit, they're not getting the credit, so it's kind of like, they're selling their merch right there and they just look to the right and there you got the people who are getting all the attention.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And what kind of fucks up?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
That kind of messes with you.
But that's also good too. I would think that would be a pretty inspiring kind of gig for them to be with your heroes and like we talked to this mysterious individual that we talked to.
Yep.
That was a really kind of an awe-inspiring thing, right?
It was awe-inspiring.
But also I felt kind of like, but this individual is quite human.
Well, and that's it. Okay, so what do Christo, Aaron Draplin, Michael Beirut, Michael Janda, what do they all have in common? They're not fucking perfect.
Yes.
They're not.
Yes.
And that's the whole thing. This
I was going to say they're awesome.
Everybody, well, yes.
Yeah.
But you know who else is awesome?
What's that?
You are, Sean. You are.
In a roundabout kind of way, yes.
No, you fucking are, right? And I mean, again, they're people just like us.
Yeah.
They have struggles. just like us.
Yes.
Okay. And don't be fooled. I mean, again, regardless how they play themselves out and what kind of celebrity status that they've given themselves or their persona is giving off or whatever the vibe is, they all had to start in the exact same place.
That's right.
Okay. They all have gone through some level of imposter syndrome sometime in their life.
Yep.
All right. They've all been beaten down by a boss or 10 bosses, right? Shitty clients. They've all been screwed by clients. Like, I mean, they've all been there.
Yep.
Not a single one is perfect, right? And so this whole perfection thing is like it's almost killing everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, because again, they're putting so much stress, just like these awesome artists, who are literally an arm's length away from the celebrity ones who are getting the attention, but they're equally good.
Yes.
Right? They are. It's this whole idea, this perception of perfection, right? And that's bad in our space.
Totally.
It's horrible in our space.
It's not good. It's it's an uphill battle.
Well, it is.
And with no end in sight. I mean, there's no way.
You're right.
You'll never attain that level.
You can't attain that level, right? I mean, just by the nature of design is imperfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Because again, it's not a wham bam thank you ma'am type of experience.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's constantly going, and I mean, it's like, when you're stuck in looking through places like Instagram, or this, and you're seeing all these awesome artists and all these awesome designers putting their top shit out there, you're not seeing, number one, what it took to get there for them. Number two, you don't know if this stuff is real or if it's fake, right? There's so many talented people on Instagram, even our followers. We have so many fucking amazing angry designers, and I'm jealous from like 2/3 of them. Okay, I'm not going to say which 2/3, but seriously, it's just like, wow, I can't do that. Amazing illustrations, amazing artists, right? Their shit fucking rocks, right? But again, I'm not putting them on a pedestal thinking, they're perfect. I'm not.
Exactly.
Right? Because again, what else those celebrity people have in common? Right? They got a fucking shit ton of hours behind them. Okay, that they've been working and working. They've got tons of battle wounds and scars from being down that have grown over and made them thicker. Tougher. Right?
Yep.
They've got a ton more experience than and hours than most of the people who actually idolize them. Right?
Yep.
So it's natural to put them on a pedestal and be like, wow, they're so perfect. I'm never going to be and almost make it. They've earned that status because they've gotten there. Right?
Yeah.
You can't compare yourself to them because you don't know what their journey was like.
Exactly.
Right? And that's the problem. You can't compare yourself to anybody other than yourself yesterday.
Yes.
Right? And that's literally it. Like if you want someone that you can genuinely say toe to toe, this is exactly the same experience. It can only be you. Even if you went to the same university and the same college, took the same courses, whatever, you still had different experiences in college.
Big time. Yeah.
Right?
And
or design school or not. Right? Like, oh dude, it kills this space.
Totally. Yeah. You're shaped by who you are and your influences and things like that. But I'll never be like Chris Do or somebody like that. I'll never be that. But I'm going to be the best me that I can possibly be.
See, but again, you're comparing yourself to the wrong person, right? Because again, Chris Do. Yeah. Okay, and again,
that was a bad example. Yeah.
Well, no. Because again, he's almost in that whole league of like the Beiruts and everybody and how they portrayed themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I remember when Chris Do started in like 2015 when he started his shit online, right? And he was putting out some videos with Jose Caballero, and between the two of them, it's like Chris was the quiet one. You could see he was a little bit more reserved, a little bit more quiet. I wouldn't necessarily say he was like insecure by any means, but he was definitely the more reserved one. And again, he had to evolve to what he was.
Yeah.
Comparing yourself to these celebrities or just, holding anybody in this whole, high regard is damaging for yourself. And then even trying to strive for that as a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing.
Yes.
That shit needs to stop,
yes,
dude. Honestly. Like when people are like bragging about, I'm a perfectionist and dude, I run for the hills. Like, oh God.
You must be very disappointed if you strive for perfection. Like, geez, come on.
Right? I used to be insecure at one point, but now I'm perfect. So like, again, it's I remember interviewing people,
Yeah.
and they think that they're being all cheeky and cool and shit because it's like, okay, what's your greatest strength? What's your greatest weakness? And they're like, ooh, my greatest weakness is that I'm a perfectionist. And they think that that's a good answer.
Yeah.
But as a fucking employer,
Yeah.
dude, you never say that. Anybody, don't ever respond to that.
Never.
Because as an employer, I don't care if you're fucking, stocking shelves here or doing this there.
Yeah.
All I'm sitting there thinking is, wow, number one, pain in the ass employee, somebody who's going to take too long to get shit done because they want it to be perfect.
Exactly.
Or somebody who's going to obsess over things that don't matter.
Yeah.
And more importantly, somebody who's more concerned about their own ego needs versus the needs of me, the employer, or even more so the customer.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's a horrible, horrible thing to even say or even think or even try to strive for perfection.
Yeah.
Especially in that sense, the whole concept of perfection is flawed because it's subjective.
Yes.
Right? And that's what people don't understand, which makes this whole pursuit of perfection a complete waste of time and energy.
Yeah.
What you think is perfect, I'm going to think is flawed.
Exactly.
I could,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Some people, they might like white space. They might like, airy designs, keeping things thin. Another might like things a lot more bold.
Yeah.
Everybody has their different impression of what perfection is.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a hard one, right?
That is, yeah. Jeez.
Perfection sounds like it's a good thing, but everything about perfection in our space is bad.
Yes.
Okay. And what I mean is, number one, it creates imposter syndrome for everybody else other than the high and mighty person who's trying to portray that they're perfect, right?
Yeah.
Who, so again, it's number one, imposter syndrome, right? Number two, perfection mindset is actually a negative mindset if you think about it, okay? Even yourself. Because if you are constantly trying to, make your design perfect, you're always second guessing yourself.
Yes.
And some people might think that's good, but then it's this horrible, vicious cycle that you're constantly, it's not good enough. Oh, it's not good enough. Well, when will it be fucking good enough if that's the case, right?
Exactly.
Because again, you're going to adjust it today. And then by tomorrow, it's again, you're going to be like, I'm going to pick something else apart. And you're going to keep fudging and fudging and fudging. I mean, it's horribly negative.
Yes.
Horrible, okay?
Big time.
Horrible for employers. Perfection, horrible for employers.
Yes. I was just going to say, as an art director,
Yeah.
Somebody who's taken a shit ton of time on something and you just want it done, you want to get it out.
Well, yes.
This is a difficult situation to be in.
If somebody is stressing about perfection or thinks their boss is looking for a perfection, it makes them less efficient. It makes them less confident in what they're pitching to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And then overall, it's just they're constantly unsure of everything they're presenting. And it's just like, I don't fucking care if this should be moved over a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
Get me close enough.
Yes.
And I'll give you better direction or we'll
Exactly.
send it to the customer, right? Like as an employee, I do not look for employees who strive for perfection.
This is
I
true.
don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's more important things in our business than perfection.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
I know, you're right.
But
it's true.
The reality is perfection kills design,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then again, you think it's good for a customer. It's horrible for a fucking customer because again, customers really, okay, obviously it leads to, projects being late.
Yes.
Okay, because you can't, and you're focusing generally on elements as a designer. If you're striving perfection for a customer, you're focusing on elements that don't make a difference to the customer or to the customer's job.
Exactly.
Right? Like ultimately, and that's the whole, they don't give a shit about perfection. They just want to know that you can deliver something high quality, right? You could be the best fucking designer in the world, but if you can't deliver, dude, you ain't worth anything. Like you're not, right? And that's the part that's so frustrating on this.
Exactly. That's far more valuable than perfection is to deliver something on time.
It is, right? Like honestly, okay, so obviously I'm not saying, in no way am I saying, you know what, half-ass it, get shit out there and just crank it.
Right.
That's not what we're saying, right? Perfection and quality are two very different things.
Yes.
Those two worlds don't fucking collide at all.
Yes.
Okay? Like always deliver something that's really good quality. Always make sure that your spelling is good. It's not sloppy. We're not talking about bad design here. We're still talking about good design.
Yes.
Okay? But when people sit there and obsess over details and they're like, pixel this way, pixel that way, up, down, more white space, shrink, stretch, right? They're obsessing over the details. the devil is in the details.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the problem is, customer doesn't recognize that.
They're not going to notice nobody's pixels out. Yeah.
Right. Right. Like they're seriously. And that's the crazy thing. It's like people will obsess over stuff that doesn't fucking matter. They're obsessing over stuff that matters to them,
yes,
not to their customer.
Right.
And they justify it by saying, well, my standards are too high.
Are we?
Yeah, you know what? Your standards are too high, even for yourself. Because the reality is, okay, our standards at like a 60, 70%. Okay.
Yep.
And that's us who don't have these fucking egos over our standards are high. Our 60, 70% surpasses a client's 100%.
Oh, big
because
time.
they can't do this shit.
They don't know how to do this.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, who are you helping in that case? Like, you're not helping the customer.
Exactly. In fact, I think you're actually hurting yourself. And it goes back to your imposter syndrome. Like you can, it's a cyclical thing because you put all this work into, say, this project that you're doing, send it out, and God forbid the client shits all over it.
Then what?
Then I'm a failure as a designer.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's
absolutely
where your mind goes with this kind of thing.
Or on the flip side, you spend all this time, energy perfecting it.
Yeah.
You send it out and they're like, great, thanks. And it's just like kicking the nuts again.
Why aren't they doing backflips?
I am not, and again, I'm not saying half-ass anything.
No.
We don't half-ass a single thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have to deliver, enough. You have to give enough for what, I guess is the purpose, the intent. There's more important things to, on a project other than your own, ego, design, perfection, striving for what, I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly. Yeah, I know.
You get where I'm going with here, right?
I totally do. And the thing with that too is like if you're focusing on one particular job, this is why we send things out in threes.
Of course.
Right? So I think that's designed because you can't obsess over something.
Yeah.
This is like we have three examples of a project, right?
Yep.
So you're going to even out your time with, and obviously you're going to spend a little bit of extra time on one or two, but sometimes you send it out and the client likes the third one that you just kind of.
You threw it again. It's that third throwaway concept that you're just like, oh, okay.
But it's still good because you put thought and time into it. But you know what I mean? Like these are the kind of things where I think if you do three projects, you don't tend to be able to obsess on one particular
it's
thing.
So true, dude.
I don't know.
Absolutely. No. I agree.
I
totally agree in that case.
Yeah.
It's you'd be surprised at it comes back to our ninja skills. Okay. Our design ninja skills that we have honed and they're subconscious and we need to give enough credit. We don't give enough credit to our instinctual design skills.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And again, it's like you'll quickly whip them together and people look at you and they're like, wow, I couldn't do that. And you're like, really? Because that's shit. Like even now I'll goof around and I'll doodle for my kids or create like whatever. And they're like, oh, you're so good. I'll have other adults around me. They're like, wow. And I'm like, this is shit.
Or if you play Pictionary with somebody with normies, you know what I mean? Like you just, you draw something and they're like, holy shit, that's awesome.
It's because we got some deep
like
skills, yo.
Exactly. But I mean, you're not sitting there shading and doing the whole nine. You're like, ting, time's up. You're like, no.
Dude,
you're going to get the basic gist of it out there for the people to guess.
It's like people need to obsess over the right things.
The right things.
Not the details,
Absolutely.
not the design principles and constantly harping back and forth, right?
Yes.
It's like they should be striving, and I know this sounds really ridiculous, they shouldn't be striving for perfection in their designs. They should be striving for a perfect design. And in my opinion, because design is creating something that helps a customer solve a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a perfect design. There's more than one variation of this. Okay.
Yeah.
But a perfect design solves a customer's problem. It's about the customer. It's not about our own design ego. Do you see what I mean? Perfection is about us. A perfect design solves a customer's problem, right? That's what we want to solve their problems, not adhere to our design egos. Okay, that's key there. That's key.
The difference. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think so. It is possible to create a perfect design. It's about the customer. It's not about us. Right. And that's key for this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you're the kind of person that, you obsess over, moving something 2 pixels up, and then moving 2 pixels down, and then,
Dude.
and then that's a huge difference to you,
Right? Or then, you play
wasting
this
your time
font
on
game
something.
and you're like, this font. And then you're like, oh, maybe I should have gone this font. Maybe. And it's okay to second guess your font choice once, twice, 3 times.
Yeah.
Dude, if it carries on from morning,
This is the
afternoon, next day.
Yeah, if you're saying at the end of the day, well, I got another 8 hours to figure this out tomorrow, it's like, no.
No, you don't, right? You know what that is? That's when you don't have enough work and you can focus all that energy on one fucking job.
Exactly.
Because honestly, dude, your career is going to be limited if you think,
This is
like,
true.
honestly, like all these people out there that people, Segmeister, he's perfect. Obviously not. He's very imperfect,
Yeah,
right?
big time.
And the stuff he's doing is perfect for him. It's not perfect for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? So again, it's a very selfish mentality,
Yeah,
perfection.
totally.
That's why I don't like it. Like even when people look at shit like, like Apple or like Nike, right? And people are like, oh, but their shit's perfect, right? Look at it. It's hard to compete. My stuff doesn't look like theirs.
Yeah.
What people aren't realizing is they didn't do that overnight.
No,
right?
exactly.
And that's the thing. Nike didn't become Nike overnight. Okay. So Nike created their logo. Okay. Then it was like 16 or 18 years later came the tagline, just do it. Okay. And again, that brand happened over 18 years. And then everything else that came along came from all these iterations of like their brand, their system, right? Because again, it was all of this whole trial, error. So, I mean, people try to go online and copy this shit and be like, oh, look at mine's much better than Nike's. And it's just like, you're a fuckhead. You're a fuckhead. Because again, this is a giant company, a giant brand that has had so many years of iterations to get to this point, right? Creating a perfect design, it's not static, right? It's not once and done, right? Like honestly, it's a series of decisions based on like data and feedback and trial and error. That's what design is like when it comes to companies like Apple and Nike. Like people are like, oh, Apple has perfected whitespace. Not really. They've just been doing it for so fucking long and now know what not to do.
Exactly.
So we get to benefit from like the copying.
Yes.
If you really want to get to that.
This is true. Yeah, we can kind of lean heavily on that. But I mean, you're never going to duplicate that, right? This is the thing. I think this is what people are kind of.
This is what people don't realize, okay?
Yeah.
When you look at something and be like, it's perfect, okay? Very, very rarely will you look at something on Behance or on Dribble that you have no idea who the person is, who the company that they're representing, the brand or anything. And you look at it and you're like, that's perfection.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Because perfection is so much bigger than a once and done.
Yeah.
It's years of branding. It's years of instilling. We're looking at these celebrity designers, right? Like the Does and the Draplins and the Jandas of the world.
Yeah.
We're seeing them, but it's not like they just popped up and there they were.
Yes.
It's years and years of them selling their messages, putting it in our heads, putting themselves out there at this level, at this status and this and that, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then it's seeing everything else that they've done. Like Michael Beirut, okay? Brilliant, okay? But he's obviously not perfect because again, if you just look at what he did for the MIT Institute, right? Which again, I love the final outcome, but it wasn't, they didn't like his first shit.
Oh.
Right? He presented the first round stuff. They're like, no, we don't like it. Try again.
Work. Really?
So again, if he was perfect, he should have had it the first time.
Yeah. Or he would have said to you, you know what? Fuck you. I'm perfect. This is the greatest thing. You know what I mean?
But people don't see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Again, it's like what you said with the Behance thing too. It's like you see, one kind of panel that they have there.
Yes.
And you compare 35, 40 years of what Nike's doing. You know what I mean? Like there's that is a simple logo, but there's a lot more baked into that logo. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like this is the kind of stuff.
Well, because it's the impression you get, the
that's
feeling
exactly
you get, and
it.
that has
you don't get that from a Behance thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So again, wrong emphasis. The emphasis is on the wrong syllable. It's, they really need to look at the bigger picture and stop obsessing over, this idea of perfection and start working on a perfect design.
Yes.
And in my opinion, again, perfect design serves the customer, not our design ego. All right.
Yeah.
So,
now, let me ask you this really quick.
Yeah.
So do you think, because we're in such a high volume, get shit done kind of shop?
Yes, we are.
Do you think that kind of stamps down or tamps down the need for perfection?
No, well,
because we have such a high volume of things. There's no real opportunity for us to obsess over
hold on.
shit.
See, so it's not that we're not obsessing over perfection.
Yeah.
We are perfect for the customer.
For the customer.
For the
Exactly.
customer.
That's what we obsess over.
And that's what we obsess over.
Right.
For us, our idea of perfection is being able to deliver high volume because that's what they need.
Yes.
We're higher volume that they can do in-house. So they've given us that, all that work between everything from our presentations and social to now even the multimedia projects that we're getting, right?
Yeah.
And again, so we are perfect for that customer.
Yes.
Okay. So again, could you sit there and critique some of the artwork? Well, I think the artwork that we have is fucking great.
It's really good.
It's, it's on design, it's lined up, it's clean, and it is just good enough that's all they need.
Yeah.
We strive for that 70, 80% because if we spend 3-4 more hours on these posts,
we wouldn't get it out to them on time.
we wouldn't get it out to them. It's not going to make a fucking difference to them.
Exactly.
And again, their game is volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right?
Right.
We have some customers who want something a little more chic, a little more cool, right? We then obviously they're not high volume, so we pull back and we clean things out.
Right.
But again, even that, it's the value that we're bringing is in our thought, the strategy, right? Again, we don't obsess over because again, I'm still a big believer, just like these brands, like the Nikes and the Apples, in iteration.
Yes.
That's how you get to perfection, but not design perfection.
Right.
Perfect for the customer.
customer.
And in my opinion, perfect for the customer has to get them some sort of result. And that's what people need to strive for. Don't worry about trying to be perfect like Chris Do and Mike Janda and Michael Beirut and Pauly Schur, right? Like, very cool fucking people.
Awesome. Yeah.
Far from perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Like, go take a peek. And again, our guests proof that again, they're not perfect. Life's not perfect.
Yep.
And that's amazing that they're
very
human,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Strive for trying to be perfect for your customer.
Yeah.
Right. Get them what they need. And that's the most important thing, right? Focus on what it is that you need to achieve for them.
Yes.
Okay. Like, you got a job for them. Figure out first and foremost, what is it that this job has to achieve, right?
Yeah.
Figure out number 2, who's it for in this job? Okay, so you're making sure you're designing for the right audience for that job.
Yeah.
Focus on that clear message. Make it just like our logo idea, right? Keep it simple, straightforward, singular. Make sure that there's one, easy to understand message that people are going to take away from that. And then focus on a clear call to action.
Right.
Make sure that after all this, they get it, they message it, it achieves what the customer needs. Now I know what to do.
Yeah.
Because then if the customer's bank goes cha-ching, okay, they're going to come back and be like, hey, I need more of this shit.
Exactly.
And that should be the goal.
Yeah.
The goal should be to strive for iterations because that's how Nike is, the way they are. That's how Apple is the way they are.
Yeah.
Good if you land a brand identity job that's like $20,000 job or $50,000 job, and you do it and you develop all the shit and you never see them again. Okay, that's a good win. What sucks is a year from now, internally they're going to bastardize all your shit because they had other needs. Okay, and you lost control because you gave it to him and walked away from it.
Yes.
Better to have that job.
Yeah.
Okay, and tell the customer, listen, I'm gonna start you off with an amazing identity project.
Yeah.
And as your brand evolves, we're gonna add to this
Yes.
and make sure we grow this.
Right.
So it's perfect for your brand, not just for the next 6 months, but for the next 6 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like, that's why I have a lot of problem with design companies, because a lot of them, they're project by project. They want in, they want out, and they move on.
Really?
And that's a horrible thing, because that customer's needs, if you're not there to constantly sit there and pepper them with support and this and that, it's going to go to shit. And it always does.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Much rather half that job if I can, right? But be there in 3 months when they need me. Be there in 6 months. Then all of a sudden, hey, your website needs an overhaul, because when we designed initially, okay, now has evolved so much versus, they try to hack it together and then they're going to hack this website together and be like, fuck, those guys sold me a shitty site. It doesn't work. I'm going to go somewhere else and get, all of a sudden it's like, you didn't.
Yeah.
You sold them something that was right for the time, but you weren't there to iterate with them, right?
Exactly.
Again, design to me is a long-term commitment with customers. That's what we always stress for.
Oh, totally. Yeah. That's exactly
so
it.
again, be perfect for your customer.
Yes.
Don't focus on fucking perfection.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a horrible thing. It's such a horrible thing. You know, it doesn't exist. Plain and simple. It doesn't exist. But the perfect opportunities or being perfect for your customer does exist.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think attention needs to be, because otherwise it's a really stressful.
You just, again, it's unattainable.
And maybe I'm thinking too
even in your own
practically
mind.
about this.
Yeah.
You know, thinking, oh shit, if you claim you're perfect, you're going to be such a time waster. You're not good for my agency. Move on.
Yeah.
You know, or you're not the right agency for me as a customer.
Right.
You know, because you're going to be focusing on your shit yourself, not me. Because if somebody tells you they're focusing on perfection, that's what once.
Yeah.
They're going to focus on doing one thing once right. You can't tell me every single thing you're going to create is perfect.
Yeah.
Because it needs change.
It does.
Don't give me that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's back to your analogy. It's like, yes, I can compare myself to the guy I was yesterday.
That's what you need to
really, and I think I'm better than him now. You know what I mean? Like every day you progress.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
exactly. And honestly, I don't care what you say, you know, like I think you're better than some of the celebrity designers that I mentioned. And you are, to me, you are more perfect than they are, right? Because you are imperfect.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you perfect.
Yes, exactly.
Right? You're flawed, and that makes you human. Some of these guys are fucking like robots.
Yes.
It's like, oh.
Yes, it's really sad to kind of see that, you know. I'd much rather have what we have.
Dude,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Dude, human nature is so far from perfect.
Yes.
Which is why it's okay to accept that.
Yeah.
We had a customer who wanted us to like omit like any human portion of like a video form, like breathing. You know, you could hear a breath, you know, can you please edit out all the breaths in that voiceover? Well, you know what happened? It sounded robotic.
It sounds like a robot.
It did. It dropped to 0 every time. It's like, no. We got to put that shit back.
Yes,
in theory, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not. And then you put it back and it's like, no, that sounds human.
Yes.
And that's okay. And sometimes people need to realize that because it might sound like the right idea.
Yes.
But
I always hate that because like you listen to some videos or something like that, or you watch a tutorial.
Drops down.
And no, it's a voice like this. Like, who wants that?
No.
You'd rather have somebody who's literally breathing as a human talking to you on a video.
It's okay to be human, right?
Yes.
We speak human.
Be more human.
Be more human.
We do speak human, but those are imperfections.
Yeah.
And some people, that's not a cool thing for them.
But you know what? Again, human nature is not perfect.
It's not perfect. We breathe.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
And which is why it's okay. And more times than not, people don't expect that kind of level of perfection. You might get the few, and I mean, those are those bad customers you don't want anyway, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, again, they're not making a dime on those people, and they're going to make sure that, right? But human nature accepts flaws, right? And again, as long as the flaws aren't ridiculous things like typos, bad call to actions, missing a logo on it, you know what I mean? As long as it's not like bad design errors, you know, being imperfect is not so bad.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I can totally live in that space. You know, perfect for the client. That's
perfect.
That
for
is
the
the
client.
best. That is the best takeaway from this. For
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Just
this is
focus
exactly
on that,
and that's exactly what we do. I think this is you get one of those. Oh my God, you guys saved our bacon today. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? It's like that's it wasn't anything outstanding or it's not going to win any fucking awards, which we don't care about anyway. But you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It's you were happy.
Yeah, we want
exactly.
Thank
you.
That's what we strive for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's what I obsess over.
Reward.
I agree, man. I agree. Cool.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's all I got to say about this one. We could have dragged this one on, but there's so much to this, topic. And ultimately, it's, again, like you said, strive not to be perfect, but to be perfect for the customer. Perfect way to end.
I was just quoting you.
I just quoted you.
Oh,
so
yes.
You're good, dude. You're good. But speaking about imperfect, but perfect celebrities.
Yes.
Celebrity. Maybe now we can let people know who we're bringing on the show, who we brought on the show.
Wow,
right?
really?
Wait, I need a little drink.
You're going to drop this?
Wait, I need a little drink.
Let's talk about...
Only because, again, we're going to share it next week. Okay,
that's good.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, we got to interview our very first guest. And our very first guest that we interviewed was Mr. Aaron Draplin. Right? You asked, we brought him on. And I mean, I don't want to spill too much on this one. we had a fucking great
It was
conversation with
awesome.
the dude.
Yeah.
I think it went on for over 2 hours.
It was long.
Unfortunately, that meant 2 hours of me having more whiskey, which got a little sloppy near the end. But, hopefully I saw it. I didn't look too bad.
No, you look fine.
You could tell,
I was
you could
impressed.
tell I was a little bit.
This dude can handle his liquor.
But nonetheless, this conversation was outstanding because this one brought this dude exactly down to our channel, okay? You realize 100% that he's human.
Yes.
You realize that although he is this celebrity designer, he has worked his ass off for what he has, and the shit he's dealing with on a daily basis is the shit that we all deal with.
Yep.
We don't see this.
Nope.
We see the awesomeness that is Aaron.
Yes.
But what we got to experience in the interview is the real Aaron and everything else that, we struggle with.
Yeah.
But in situations like this, when you're, looking at all the perfectness of these people, you realize he is imperfectly perfect.
That's exactly it.
Right?
Yep. This is
So-
true. It was very eye-opening, very humble.
Fucking incredible dude.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I felt bad about? Because he's like, you guys are saying you're angry designers, but you're not even angry. And it's like, I think because we're a little starstruck, to be honest.
We were fangirling.
I think
for
we
sure.
were, right? We were like, yes,
How
whatever
could
you say,
not?
whatever.
I mean, it was so cool to talk to him.
He was so fucking cool.
and he was such a nice guy. He was such a nice man.
He really, really, really was.
It's an amazing interview. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I learned a lot.
Learned a lot, right?
Which not necessarily design wise, but
Exactly.
life skills. Which is fucked
right?
up.
And that it's okay not to have all the answers,
totally,
right?
totally.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful dude.
Stay tuned. We are dropping that shit next week. So you can either join the conversation or join in, watch how awesome that, two-parter
2 parts.
will be, or you can just skip to the end and see how drunk Massimo got. Because it did go on, and I drank way too much during that. But anyway, by all means, we're proud of, and we have somebody else already lined up for our 100th episode. So fingers crossed that works out. That works out.
Okay.
But yeah, needless to say, though, I think it's the most perfect guest for our very, very, very first Angry Designer interview episode.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't even an interview.
No.
It was a conversation.
Yeah.
Our very first conversation. And that's what we're striving for, is conversations from this. Because it was such a big, it wasn't the typical, how you doing?
Yeah.
What is your opinions on design? Blah,
And-
blah, blah. Dude, this was a conversation about life.
Totally. You didn't have to coax anything out of him, like ask him questions, or you certainly no Iggy Pop or anything like that. You know what I mean? He was just like, he was just very forthcoming and just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I loved you have to especially pay attention to the end, because you did the 20 questions.
The 20 questions. Yeah. There's a surprise at the end.
Those were really,
Second
really
episode, last 5 minutes. So there you go.
But listen to the whole thing.
Yeah,
please.
absolutely.
It's really good. He's very, very interesting, and you'll get a lot from it.
A lot from this one for sure.
Totally.
Amazing.
Wow.
So we just spilled the beans. Okay, so enjoy that. Please, by all means, if you enjoyed this episode, drop us a line, hit us up on our website, join our list of when we start. We're trying to build this giant email list where we're going to include everybody in our list episodes in the future. All right, so everybody hang tight. They're coming, those messages. We will be bugging you for those, but for those of you who haven't, hit us up on our website. Check us out on our Instagram. Join the conversations there. We're talking to everybody. We work really hard to try to get back to everybody's messages. So please, by all means, drop it. We have a great community there. Absolutely. Yeah. And we're also on YouTube. Yeah. So, follow us on there. We're growing that place. And there will be YouTube specific material in the future as well. And share us with everybody you love and hate. Okay? Sick us on people. They'll be like, wow, why are they listening to him? I can't get that out of my mind.
This person really hates me to forward this to me. Angry designers.
With that being said, I think we're good, dude.
Yes, that was awesome.
I think this is a perfect way to end this episode. That is such a dad joke. Why'd I go there? Fuck.
Because you're a dad.
Yeah.
You can't help yourself.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
My name is Massimo.
My name is Sean.
Stay creative.
And stay angry.
And stay perfect for your customers. Peace.